Hello, everybody, and welcome to the newest indoor adventure in Taking Strahd Seriously, Part 21. I realize now, in hindsight, that I said it was Part 20 on the Twitch stream, but that's fine. It really is Part 21. And hey, for all of you audiocast listeners, we have a delightful special treat. Some of you might think of it as a not-so-delightful treat, but our main cast is not going to be here this week. RJ is not going to be here. LB is not going to be here because Danae has thrown together a guest game. So all of the NPCs, well, most all of the NPCs that you have met throughout our travels in Barovia are here, ready to do the heist of a Barovian lifetime, which is about like 18 years, I would expect. So we are going to get into that. But first, today is September 17th, 2019, and you are loved. And I feel like that is a very important thing to say. Each and every single one of our streams begins this way because of the importance of which I place in it. Because everybody deserves to feel loved, and everybody deserves to be able to be told that they're loved. It's a good time. It's a good feeling. Should spread it around. We do this show Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And it's all on twitch.tv/indoor adventures. If this is your first time joining us, we also have a backlog of all of our VODs, as well as audio casts wherever audio casts can be found, also at Indoor Adventures. We currently also have a Patreon set up, so if you support us on all of those other mediums and are looking for other ways to support us, consider going to patreon.com/indooradventures, because that is where we have our after show called Nights in the Courtyard, where we answer questions not only from each other, but also from the community at large. So if you are curious and have been dying to ask any of these fine NPCs and players, hey, what the hell? How did you turn a green hag into a playable race? Well, I believe that Cyber will have your back during that Nights in the Courtyard, because I know that's a question I'm going to be asking. I'm rightly curious. Now, with that in mind, let's get into it. GB, who you playing tonight?
After I unmute, I'm Greybeard of Greybeard's Tavern, and tonight I will be playing Stetchen, the Blood Hunter Knowledge Cleric, and Ward and Protector, I should say, of Arabelle.
Excellent. And Cyber, who you playing tonight?
Hello, darlings. I'm Cyber. I'm playing Billie the Hag. Welcome.
Yes. And Tyler, who you playing tonight?
Hi, I'm Tyler. Sorry, I was muted. I am playing Victor, the half-elf bard / ghost. Trying out that ghost thing ever since he died.
Alrighty. And JD, who you playing?
Hi, I'm JD Lady, and I will be playing Rosalia Martikov, a human rogue. Mostly human.
And I am the Indoor Adventurer, and I am going to be playing the sassiest 9-year-old here in Barovia, Arabelle, the young Vistani fortune teller.
And my name is Wings. I'm going to be your very spooky dungeon master tonight. When we last left off, Strahd was flying on a dark steed with a fiery mane high above Yester Hill, her hand extended to the sky as the clouds parted and a crescent moon swelled to full, shining a milky white light down onto Bartholomew as he felt the beast within begin to stir. And we're going to cut away from that because to this, as Stephen said, this session, not this session, is going to be about our lovely guest players. So, Rosalia has been working on trying to track down the stones that were stolen from the Wizard of Wines, one of which was about to be retrieved at Yester Hill by our lovely main group, and the other of which was stolen by Baba Lysaga. Now, the Were-Ravens have been trying to crack this nut for years, and they just haven't been able to track her down. Every time they think that they've found her hut, they just come back with conflicting reports. And she is just very fond of killing ravens. And were ravens. They just kind of, it's really hard to survive a trip into Berez. So, Rosalia, you are going to try and track down some help with this particular venture. You are able to find out where Station is traveling with his vampire hunting master, Rictavio. And what is your argument? How do you convince him to come and help you with this venture?
Well, he's against Strahd. I'm against Strahd. We don't want Strahd to get the stones. I feel like that's a good, strong argument.
I feel like that's the exact argument you need to use to get Station to go with you. It's surprisingly not very hard to get Station to go on adventures. However, Rictavio is much more resistant to this, and all but calls Station an idiot for deciding to go, and will continue to try and track down this saber cat on honestly what has started to look like a wild goose chase at this point. So whilst you are traveling to your rendezvous point with Station, you are actually approached by a green hag, and I imagine the two of you are like getting ready to defend yourselves when this hag introduces herself as Billie. And Billie, how do you convince them to allow you to come along on this trip?
So the first thing that she says is, Rosalia, I knew your grandma. I know your grandmother. And
you knew Bobby?
Yes. Yes, I did. And I know that she wouldn't want you going on something as stupid as tracking down Lysaga without some help. I don't know your grandmother, so I don't know how much help you'll be.
I do what I can.
Mm-hmm. And we'll see exactly what that is. So you're trying to find this bitch, right?
Yes, we're trying to track her down. She stole one of the stones that makes us able to make wine.
Oh, you lost that, did you?
Yeah.
I would say it was stolen, not lost, but yeah.
Was it in your possession?
Yes.
Is it no longer in your possession?
Yes.
Then you lost it.
This hag
Anyway,
is
I know where
sassy.
she
I like
is.
her.
I know exactly where she is. I just came from there. I'm trying to find people for a book club. No one's really taking the bait, so let's kill a bitch.
Okay, fine. We need all the help we can get.
Delightful.
Speaking of sassy, Victor, you have been tagging along with Station for a while now, and it has become clear to you that there is nobody else in Barovia who can see or hear you. You have not been able to interact with things on a physical level for a long time. However, you have found that your spells still have an effect on the world around you. And through some trial and error, you have actually gotten very good at just sort of poltergeisting some bard spells out into the world. And what else do I need to say about you? Barovia, it's a pretty nerve-wracking place to be, especially if you're dead. Station, however, provides a bastion. There is a whole lot less screaming around him. However, he continues to insist that there are other ghosts around him, and you're the only one that you know of.
I'm the only ghost I can see. And Mom always said I was going to be something, so I might as well be a poltergeist.
Amazing. Meanwhile, Arabelle, you have been taking some readings. The cards never lie, even though you sometimes do. And they have been very clear about the fact that something bad is about to happen. Just pretty much everywhere you look, there's just doom, doom, doom everywhere. Especially for the party, especially for pretty much any populated town, and especially for Station. However, through your casting of augury, you are able to find that by helping Station, you will be able to help the main party. So you're hoping to kind of knock two birds out with one stone by sneaking out of Kresik and making your way over towards him. And you have what sort of divination spells do you have available to you?
Well, I have quite a few. Also, is this the start of a new day from what we're going through?
I'm gonna say that all of this like setup occurs before the fires in Balaki.
Got it. Mostly
so
asking for my portent ability, which allows me to roll 2d20s, and then I keep those rolls for later.
I see.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. So go ahead and roll those if you would like.
Excellent.
Don't talk to me until I've used my portent.
Yes. That's a 6 and a 17.
right.
Divination magics, I have augury.
Mm-hmm.
And my portent.
All right, awesome. You are able to use some trial and error. You are able to cast augury a couple more times to just kind of like track down where Station is, just by.
It's a ritual.
Yeah, like you'll have to like walk down a road, come to a crossroads, get out your cards, kind of flip through them for a little bit, and then like eventually figure out which direction is going to bring you to Station. Then you just keep on going. And eventually you do catch up with Station. How does Station react to seeing Arabelle again?
Hey, Bishop!
Oh, what the hell? You were supposed to stay protected.
Yeah, that town doesn't exactly seem like it's going to be very well protected. That kid just won't stop laughing. It's really weird.
That is weird.
No, honestly, after... Look. Protecting or no, I need to be here right now. Who else is going to protect you, Bishop?
I will.
Shut up. He says to no one, and then he looks back at Arabelle.
Does Arabelle like get a sense of Vic being there?
A little bit. She's sensitive to such things, but doesn't really know, like, can't see him, can't hear him, but like you do get kind of a muffled feeling of an annoying voice.
I'll just look in the direction and just keep weird company, Bishop.
And I guess over the next few minutes, Stetchen will get out his book and he'll do a ritual augury to see if he believes that she should be here.
All right.
If you're gonna cast augury, this is what I need to let you know about it. Like seeing him get set up, like I let him know the steps that I took to come to this conclusion.
Oh, then he snaps the book closed and puts it back in his satchel, and it's like, fine, then it is fated, you will be here. This is, how do you pronounce it, JD lady? Rosilla?
Rosalia.
Rosalia?
Mm-hmm.
This is Billie. She looks scary, but she's nice so
Shepherd.
far. And, well, Vic is here too. And he actually like points at Vic, but there's no Vic there.
Looking directly at where Vic would be, just illusionist.
Yeah. Yeah. Do
Vic,
remember.
you feel seen and acknowledged for the first time in a long time.
It's always good to be feel seen.
Do I know who Arabelle's grandma is?
Yes, Madame Ava.
Oh, I had tea with your grandma just a few days ago.
Most people who come into Barovia do. I'm not surprised.
That is
Sassy.
funny. And Stefan actually hasn't met Madame Ava.
No,
What do you know?
it is a small world, but it's yet big.
Interesting. All right. So over the next day or so, y'all are going to be planning your, I don't know, incursion into Berez. What do you do? What is your plan? What's your modus operandi? And feel free to ask me any questions because I'm your only source of information.
Well, Stetchen would like to make sure everybody's got holy water and a alchemist's fire.
Okay, I will allow this.
The physical people. 1, 2. Okay. Yep.
All the physical people.
All the physical
mean,
people.
When I was alive, I had holy water. I don't know what happened to it.
Hopefully
People loot.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Hopefully it was looted, and will be used later.
Oh, the alchemist fire is going to be fantastic. At least on the scarecrows. She's got a lot of them.
And little blight man has them too.
Look, all I know about is the scarecrows. I've been trying to light them on fire for a couple of days, but I mean, do I look like somebody of the age to like be committing serial arson?
Yes.
I'd say so.
Stetchen laughs at nothing, and then Arabelle makes the joke.
Oh, you're so sweet.
And everybody who's seen Billie before, which none of you have, would know that she does actually look a little bit younger. And she also one of her arms is not flesh. It is now a wooden prosthetic that just has these purple like rose thorns going up the entire length of it.
Speaking of that, we should probably go around and describe all our characters, considering this is the first time we've seen a lot of them for a while. So, beginning with Billie, if there's anything else you'd like to say.
But yeah, she's a green hag who is dressed like an angsty teenager. And who has this like gray hair with streaks of purple that's like shaved on one side and then just like folded over to the other. But yeah, otherwise typical Barovian fashion. She's got a little fur shawl on that I'm pseudo cosplaying today, and yeah, besides that, wooden prosthetic, typical green hag. Maybe a little less ugly than most of them, which is sort of backwards.
Sounds good.
All right. Rosalia, how do you look?
So I have black, fairly short hair, and it's pulled back out of my face with like a leather band. I'm wearing dark brown or black armor to blend into the woods when I'm traveling, like a green cloak and sword.
All right.
I'm about 30 years old.
Stetchen
And
has the long duster, which I didn't put on, and some armor. He's got his little anti-neck gorget. He wears a funky hat with with a bunch of holy symbols. He does have a holy symbol that he generally wears, which I misplaced. It's a sun, and he usually wears like a nicer suit. And of course, he's got his silvered moon blade, and his hand crossbow.
Nice.
White, prematurely white hair, and he's kind of much taller and more willowy than I am. So that's where we differ greatly.
I see. And Arabelle?
Arabelle's 9, so she's pretty short. She has rather unkempt hair. It's more wavy than it is curly and kind of comes to about shoulder length. There is definitely like the straight cut that goes where her like right where her eyebrows would be to just kind of create a viewport for her face. And she is wearing, it's almost like a raincoat. Like, her clothes are nicer because she's been staying with a burgomaster, but she's been walking through the muddy track of Barovia for a while, so her shoes are just completely covered in mud. She looks damp from just having been in the rain, but she doesn't seem to care. No weapons, but she is typically just shuffling a deck of cards.
Nice. And this matters to no one but Stashen, but what does Vic look like?
Vic is a kind of tall, very disheveled looking high elf. Red hair, I believe, is what he had last time. Yep. Well dressed, but it's kind of gotten a lot more disheveled since he died. And I'm assuming at least he can have like ghostly versions of his instruments that he's just fiddling and playing that Stashen can hear, and it's a lot more soothing than the ambient sounds of Barovia.
And I imagine he's got like a huge like scimitar wound just right in his gut. And like his ghostly clothes, which are all monotone and kind of ethereal and see-through, are like stained dark with blood. But that's pretty par for the course with ghosts. So what y'all know about Berez, and this is just kind of information that can be shared amongst all of you. Like, I know that Billie has been down in there every once in a blue moon, and Rosalia has a lot of information just from scouts from the Keepers of the Feather and just various reports from the Ravens. But Berez is a marsh. It used to be a town about the same population as Vallaki, maybe a few less people. And it was on the banks of the Luna River. And then they did something to like put a bee in Strahd's bonnet, and she just demolished the place by flooding the river and drowning everyone in the city. This happened about a century ago. So it's not a very recent event at all, but Billie is long lived enough to know what Berez was like before it was demolished. And now it is just a wet, swampy marshland with its own fair share of dangers. But the most dangerous part is going to be Baba Lysaga herself. She also has a small cult, just a little one, of some Barovian witches that are hanging out in the marshland, and Billie has conversed with them a little bit, trying to recruit people into her book club, but unfortunately they have a very strong cult-like fondness of Baba Lysaga, and so long as she's alive, they're not going to be like working with anybody else. Not really.
I would also like to say we received a new follower, Paul Pear. Thank you so much for the follow. GB, would you like to do the thing?
When someone becomes a new follower and I'm on the show, I take this mallet and I hit that guy right in the face.
It's such a satisfying noise.
That's one of my friends from Amy's channel.
Oh, nice.
Thank you.
Hello,
Thank you,
and
Frond.
welcome. And insects definitely are going to be an issue. And mud is going to be an issue. Where ravens have reported that moving by foot through the swampland is not necessarily recommended, but there are many of you who do not have wings, and so you don't really have a choice in that matter. So I want to hear how everybody preps for this before going in. Once again, the goal is to retrieve the Valiant, which is about a goose egg sized stone. It is magical. It affects plant life. So it might be a good idea to look out for plants acting the way that they don't normally. Any excess growth in any one area. But it is purple, it glows, it's magic. It's called the Valiant.
Thank you for the follow, that girl with the honey. GB, take us away.
Hopefully she was here and heard the last speech, but for you, for becoming a follower when I'm on the show.
Oh, it's so satisfying. I just want to record it. We need to keep it.
It's going to be my first emote for my Twitch channel.
Yes. Yes, please.
As soon as I can get, Danae to make one.
That should be a phone notification.
Yes. I want my text messages to go bonk.
Nice.
All right. So, Arbel wants to go up to Rosalia. Are you married?
No.
Just a moment. She goes up to Stetchen. Are you married?
Oh, no.
No,
honey. No. I've played this game with my niece. No.
It's not a game. It'll keep you alive longer. One of the abilities that I have is to host a wedding, but in order to do it, I need to have two people who are unmarried and already willing. It'll make you harder to hit. I'm ordained. It's okay.
She's not down, Stetchen. I can marry you.
Ghost wedding.
I mean, it's a little bit on the cheating side, but it would lend new meaning to the phrase "to death do us part."
It has to be a humanoid.
I believe I am humanoid.
Can I touch them? I have to be able to touch both parties, unless, Billie, you knew my grandma. Are you interested in getting married to either of these people?
I'm a fae, darling. I don't think it works on me.
And then Arabelle just looks back at Rosalia and Stetchen.
I know it was a very, very short courtship, but if it will keep us alive.
Is this legally binding?
Legally, probably not, but in the eyes of the gods, at least for the 7 days.
Sure, why not?
Oh,
That lasts longer than my first wedding.
So, Arabelle is going to go through the hour-long ceremony spell and wed Rosalia and Stetchen. And as she finishes, she says, "Night Mother's blessing be upon the both of you."
I like to picture that as she's doing this, Rosalia's just talking to the rest of the party about tactics and stuff.
Oh yeah. No, I'm it's basically like a crayon drawing for a wedding document.
Stetchen is taking it more seriously, but is also, listening to the plans and taking part in the planning of. But he wants to, make Arabelle feel like she's doing something important, which she is technically, mechanically speaking. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, so for the next 7 days, you both get an additional +2 AC.
Amazing. I would very much like to have everybody roll a skill check. And I want you to you can pick whatever skill check you want to roll, but justify to me how this is going to help you prepare for this very scary, very dangerous, most likely to kill at least one of you adventure.
Quick question before we do that. Do I know if there were blights in addition to the scarecrows?
You know what? Let's do the rolls and find out.
Okay. I could do a stealth roll to try to scout ahead or have scouted ahead.
Okay. Or like roll on behalf of like a raven or something.
Mm-hmm.
Have a scout. All right. I'm on board for that. You want to go ahead and do that?
So that's a 14.
14? All right.
Yep.
Sounds good to me. You are able to get some ravens back who are able to report that there are no blights. They definitely mention that there's some wildlife to be on the lookout for. They mention witches. And they also mention that they found Baba Lysaga's goat pen. And it has some sort of system that calls her to it. And it, like, they tried it a couple of times. They're some mischievous little guys. They are pretty much able to get her to come to the goat pen, like, really reliably.
So that could be a trap, maybe.
Anybody else want to roll a skill check?
I'm gonna roll a history check.
Okay.
And see if that'll help.
To know something about the town of Berez in general?
Yeah, know something about the town, whether it's something that my grandma talked about or, I mean, the location of the hut moves from, like, place to place, so maybe it has to do with, like, what time of year it is, the position of the moon, something really arbitrary, but I got a 23 on it.
Oh, that's really good. You remember stories that your grandmother used to tell you about Berez, that Berez did not fall because they defied Strahd. Well, I mean, they did defy Strahd, and that is the reason it fell. But very specifically, there was a girl there that Strahd liked, and it was because of her that the town was destroyed.
Oh. Okay.
And she told you that story as a, like, let that be a lesson to you. Like, an entire town can fall because of the actions of one person.
I guess I can do either history or religion. Since we already did history, should I do religion?
Sure.
All right. That is a 14.
Okay. From your studies of the gods of this land, you are able to discern that Baba Lysaga derives her power from the Night Mother.
And what do we know about said Night Mother?
Well, it's the same place that Arabelle gets her powers.
Aha.
And also Madame Ava, incidentally. It is actually a very common patron among the ladies of Barovia.
And Billie, is Baba, is she a fae, a fiend, a demon?
I don't think so.
Hmm.
I honestly, I think she's just a weird little girl. Except she's not so little anymore. She's older than I am.
Hmm. And does she look younger? I mean, what does she physically look like?
She looks a lot like us.
Okay.
Yeah, very attractive among the hag community, even though she's not technically a hag.
She's like an Instagram model in hag terms.
She's a hag influencer.
Hag influencer, 100. All right, so neither Vic nor Billie have rolled skill checks yet.
So go ahead.
Sure. I mean, my whole thing when I was alive was investigating spooky places, so some form of investigation role I think would seem apt.
All right, go for it. Is this you actually like exiting Stashen's safety net essentially and braving the insanity that is the afterlife of Barovia? I like, for some reason my brain just kept on saying Strahdland. Say Strahdland. And I was like, that's not correct.
I mean, we all have to brave a little bit of insanity every now and then.
Okay.
I only got a 13 though.
All right. You take a few steps outside of Stashen's radius, and you get really just kind of buffeted. And there is a lot of death and a lot of suffering in Berez. And you spend about 12 hours feeling like you're drowning.
Dinner with your parents.
Yep. However, you at some point, as you're getting kind of washed around by the floods, you will like grip onto a hard surface, and you look down. You see the stone face of a woman, just kind of looking down, holding a rose in her hands, and as you're looking at this, you realize it's a statue. And then you lose your grip again. But just before you do, you glimpse the name Marina written on the plaque of the statue. And then you are able to find your way back to Stashen. And Stashen, Vic comes back looking like a drowned rat.
Oh, I thought I heard you leave. And what did you find? He's saying to no one.
Yeah, I just wanted to go for a quick stroll. It ended up being a lot deeper than I thought it would be. There was a statue, Marina, I think.
Marina? Does Marina mean anything to anyone? No?
Does it with my 23?
With your 23?
In history.
Did Billie know Marina?
I think
or her
that's,
grandmother?
I think that's enough. For a 23 is enough, and particularly since your thing is related, this jogs your memory, and you remember that yes, Marina was the name of the girl that basically drowned Rez.
Maybe there's something interesting around the statue. If something about Rez and Marina, probably good to go there.
Did Billie roll yet?
No. So can I roll a persuasion check and just tell a whole bunch of grandma stories to like ease everybody's tension in sort of like a Bark Inspiration Song of Rest way?
Okay, go for it.
It is just as amazing as you would expect from Billie. with a 8.
Amazing. Ah.
So like I don't really know what was happening, but like one day I was walking into the city and it just wasn't there anymore. Like I honestly I still didn't figure out what actually happened there. But all I know is that Strahd, like, she got really pissed.
She goes a little bit too far in depth about the bloated corpses that were in Barres. All right. So, what is your plan?
I believe Rosalia had it correct, that we should use the goat pen as some kind of trap.
But if it's been used before, she might expect that.
Or we can check out that statue of Marina.
Information first. Most wise.
Arabelle will nod.
The intent here is to get the stone, right, Stetchen? So, I mean, if we trap Baba, are we like trying to get rid of her? I mean, is it just a bonus?
Yeah. Is there a way, Billie, we could use subterfuge to get to her place to get the stone? Or must we, make with the fighting and get rid of her for good?
I'm guessing these are not Baba Lysaga's like usual clientele.
Who in particular?
Any of these people, maybe besides Arabelle.
What do you mean by clientele?
The witches.
I'm sorry, I don't know. I don't think I understand the question.
Sorry. The question was, can we do subterfuge to get into her place or like get close to her stone? Which, in my mind, I'm thinking like maybe the witches could, but like none of us actually look like those witches.
I see. It's a pretty close-knit group. If you wanted to disguise yourselves and try to pass yourselves off as new witches, you would basically have to pretend like you were new witches that were coming in. And that's not unheard of. There's basically 3 assumptions when people disappear in Barovia, and it's that they either died, were taken by Strahd, or they ran off to go become a witch.
You don't join the circus, you become a witch.
That's it, 100%.
You join the coven.
It is. And then, join a cult.
Man, I have something so perfect for this. If I was still alive and could be perceived.
If that's what if that's the plan, I can make myself seem like one of the witches.
I could as well.
I feel like yours is going to be a much easier sell than mine.
And you've actually been there, Billie.
Well, I've been talking with some of her other witches. I try not to deal with her specifically.
So, Billie, do you think you'd be recognized?
Do I think I'd be recognized?
It's possible. She is a very powerful spellcaster. She might be able to call your bullshit, but that depends on a lot of things.
I think I'll manage.
So
I will say that if you have the choice not to fight her, that's always going to be the better choice. She has killed before, and she will kill again. And she has killed a lot of ravens. She has killed a lot of were-ravens.
Go ahead.
I am going to cast a cleric spell called the Arcanist's Magical Aura, which I get for being an Arcana cleric. So with this, I can create a false aura and a mask about myself. So I am going to make myself appear as if I am also one of these witches, which is basically one of the large witches' hats appears on my head. But if you were to cast a detect magic on me, it would just reveal that I am indeed one of these other witches.
I've got disguise self. That's it.
Okay.
I could take off my holy symbols, but that's all I got.
Yeah, you're kind of out of luck there, Stetson boy.
I could make you seem like a witch too, Bishop.
How does that work?
Same thing that I just did with myself.
Oh,
It'll last for 24 hours.
married and a witch in one day. Who would have guessed?
Mrs. Bishop, do you want to appear as a witch?
I am Ms. Rogue, thank you very much. And yes, I suppose that's probably our best option at this point.
Arabelle shakes her head. Not according to the Night Mother. And she's going to cast Arcanist's magic aura on Rosalia and on Stetchen. It is not a concentration spell. And the mask just is one of those very large witch's hats that just then rests on your head.
Daunty.
I don't have one to put on.
I wish I had a witch's hat.
I also wish I had a witch's hat.
I do too. More now so than ever.
We could have made it happen. We were at Jenkin.
Jenkin.
All right. So, you guys have a rough idea. Aha! And now you just need to survive the trip to attempt the plan. So,
Do we look like a book club yet, Billie?
You look like the most perfect book club, except that there's 3 of you. I only need 2.
Amazing.
And I look at Vic
All
and
the herd
shrug.
So at some point you are made aware, first by the smell of smoke and a concerning glow on the horizon, and then by a raven that Barovia has been destroyed and that Vallaki is in flames. However, the plan hasn't changed. Danica is going to get the main group to go down to Yester Hill, and you are to wait for a raven to go down to Berez. And once the raven comes, there's no turning back. You have to go. Because the druids at Yester Hill are definitely going to warn her that you're coming, and they are absolutely depending on a simultaneous attack. So, morning.
Sorry, if that's the case, and we know that morning, do we know morning is when we're going to be going to do the thing?
Mm-hmm.
Then I would have wanted to cast the Arcanist's aura the night before. It lasts for 24 hours, and then I can get a long rest in and then get back those spell slots, so that way it's not messing with my castings.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100% go ahead and cheese it. That's what I am intending. Like I said, this is a heist, and like every heist, a lot of information is gathered, and a plan is made. So, and a lot of preparations are made as well. So, you are waiting the morning of the trip at the crossroads outside of Vallaki, where there is a old dilapidated sign that's just kind of like fallen to the road that says Berez on it, and you know this is the direction to Berez when the raven comes and you are sent on your way. Now, this trail hugs up against the Luna River. The river runs north up into Lake Zarovich. However, you are traveling south towards the ruins of Berez. The earth gradually becomes more and more sopping until eventually you are up to your knees in mud. And you can just see that the land has just become waterlogged. There are puddles here and there, and then eventually it just goes full on bog, and there are flies buzzing everywhere. You can hear frogs croaking. It is a nasty, nasty place, and there are some places even where, Station, you will get up to your chest in water. So some sort of arrangement needs to be made for poor Arabelle.
I would, before she got above her knees, I would, Billie, would it be too much of an inconvenience for Arabelle to ride on your shoulders?
I'm not as strong as I used to be, darling.
Is that a no?
That's a no.
I'm going to real quick look at spell options because, it's good to be the cleric.
This is a very spell-heavy party.
You can change things up. How do you do that once you've made your character? You got to go to edit?
Go to your spells tab and then manage spells.
Spells. Manage spells. Okay. No.
Billie does not have the strength of a green hag anymore.
If it helps, I'm only 9 and very light. I imagine
with a
I'm
strength of 12, how much could I carry?
Enough. You could carry Arabelle.
I imagine I'm like 70 pounds soaking wet.
And you are soaking wet.
We can do a piggyback ride.
I would be soaking wet if not for prestidigitation, dry myself off.
Heyo.
Okay. How is there's what I'm looking for. Yep, okay. It's too high a level. I was hoping for water walking, but that's not available yet. Okay.
That's what I was thinking about. I was all like, that'd be a really good thing for this situation.
Had to take those levels Blood Hunter first.
What is everyone's passive perception, real quick?
13.
16.
11.
13.
12.
Alrighty.
Arabelle's got keen eyes.
Look.
On the
With
lookout.
your special eyes.
Look at your special eyes. Yeah, okay. So Arabelle, you get a pretty good look at what's going on around you. Just kind of these twisted, wicked-looking trees. Every now and then you see a destroyed cottage, just kind of half buried in the muck. And you see, too late really to warn him, a set of ripples moving directly towards Station. And he is suddenly just jerked under the water.
Uh-oh. I need that guy.
That's not good.
Roll initiative.
We're witches, don't you understand?
We're witch, bitch.
Language. What an absolute potty mouth.
I got a 15.
11.
15 for Rosalia. 11 for Billie.
Even with my +4, I got 7.
7 for Station.
Blob.
Blob. 5 for Arabelle.
I got a 21.
Jeez. I need that guy.
I need that guy. I really need that guy.
Space Ghost to the rescue.
All right. So, Station, you feel what you have tripped over a couple of roots on your way through this swamp in the past hour or so, and you feel something catching your leg, and you reckon that's just another one of them there roots. Turns out it's not, because you feel a sharp pain in your ankle, and then suddenly you are dragged underneath the water. You are technically holding your breath at this moment, and you can hold your breath for as many rounds as your Constitution modifier, I believe it is. If my resident rules monkey would like to confirm that, considering you're at the bottom of the round, Stephen, I would appreciate that very much. However, Victor, you are blessedly not experiencing any of this muddy time. Which I should mention that as you guys are moving through this mud, it is half movement speed. Victor, you see Station go under, and it is your turn.
It should be 1 minute plus your con.
Yeah,
modifier.
it is. It is a number of minutes plus +1 to con mod.
You're gonna be fine.
With a minimum of 1.
You're gonna be fine, kid. But yeah, there is visible some thrashing under this thick bog water. And Victor, it is your turn.
Am I able to identify the source of whatever grabbed Station?
Give me a perception check.
Sorry, that is 10. No, 9.
9? Okay. Not sure. But you can see that there are more ripples moving through the water.
Okay, can I position myself in a place between two ripples of water, or as many ripples of water within 5 feet of me as possible?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool. Well then, if I can get at least 2, I'm gonna thunderclap by him. Create a burst of thunder sound that can be heard up to 100 feet away, which maybe it can, maybe it can't.
All right. Are you targeting the one that is attacking Station, or 2 that are not?
If I can locate the one that's attacking Station and not get Station in the effect, then I'm targeting that one.
Does this spell target creatures, or does it target creatures you choose?
Creatures within range, so it's a 5-foot range.
Okay, so if you are attacking the one that's targeting Station, you would also hit Station.
I don't want to hit Station. I like that guy.
You don't.
Well, then I'm just gonna hit the other 2.
All right,
if I can. Cool. They have to make a Constitution saving throw.
They can do that. One's a nat 20 and the other's a 16.
Okay, well then both fine. That's fine. I don't care. It's fine. I'm gonna bardically inspire Station.
Okay.
As a bonus action.
Go for it. I believe Station, you get to roll add a d6 to a d20 roll at some point. It's been a while since I've DM'd for a bard.
It's been a while since I played a bard, so let me check this out. It is a d8 because I'm a level 6 now.
That's right, because you're a bigger boy. All right. Anything else for you, Mr. Sir?
I'm just standing next to these 2 things. I don't know if that helps me or not.
All right. The thing that is dealing with Station is going to give him a squeeze. Station, you can feel coils begin to wrap around your chest and attempt to squeeze the air out of your lungs. Does a 17 hit your AC? Station?
No, it does not. Thanks for being married.
Excellent.
I love you, dear wife.
All right, so that happens. Speaking of marriage, Rosalia, it is your turn.
So since this thing that has grabbed my dearly beloved husband has taken its turn, can I try to tell where it is versus him to attack?
Certainly. You see ripples and such. Since you're using a weapon and it's not an area of effect spell, you can attack it and not him.
Okay.
You kind of feel around under the water and you can feel rippling muscles of just a rope of scales and give it a good old stab.
23 to hit.
That'll definitely hit.
Okay. And I don't play rogue often. Do I get sneak attack for this?
If the person there is an ally within 5 feet who is considered threatening, then yes, you do end up getting the sneak attack for it.
Yes, Station is there, so it counts.
I wasn't sure if he was threatening at the moment.
Played a rogue for 5 years. 5 long years.
Oops. That was the wrong. Oh, those are heavy. $13 damage.
Oh, that's just enough to drop it.
Woohoo!
So you kind of feel around, and these coils are about the thickness of a football. I want to say, like, that's just like the size around this snake is, because you realize that this is a snake that's coiled around Station right now. And you kind of feel around, and you get an idea for where its head is. And then, do you have a rapier or a dagger?
Dagger.
You just get that dagger.
I'm using a dagger.
You just get that dagger right between its eyes, and it goes limp. Station, you are no longer grappled because that's what you were. And it is Billie's turn. There are 3 ripples in the water.
There are 3 ripples in the water.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How far are each of the ripples away from me?
I'm going to say that one is about 10 feet from you, and the other 2 are about 30.
Perfect. Billie's going to, like, dig in her pockets and pull out sorry, Holly, some stickity snooks, and she is going to say,
Hey, why can't we all be friends?
and cast Animal Friendship at 3rd level, and I'm going to need a Wisdom save from each of these snakes.
All right. Okay. I was looking at intelligence. I was like, -5 modifier for intelligence. However, their wisdom does not have one. So one got a 17, one got an 18, but one got a 3.
Which one got the 3?
I'm gonna say it's the one that's closest to you. And like the rippling in that area stops. And then you just see a little python face come up with just kind of like the puppy mouth. Like the lips. You know how a snake do. It's got like the kind of like kitty cat lips, and it just kind of like pokes its head up out of the water and gives you a blank-eyed stare.
Okay, and their intelligence is not 4 or higher.
It is not.
Cool. Okay.
It's their intelligence is 1.
Okay, cool.
Come here, darling. Come here.
Amazing. On its turn, that snake is going to slither towards you. You can see its long, large-sized body just kind of undulating through the muddy water.
And I will give it a snickety snook.
Yep, and it will just kind of coil up and around your arms like a feather boa.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the Brittany.
Yep, and it's just like them.
All right, we're gonna get your friends next. Don't worry, darling.
All right, Station, on your turn, you snap to underneath the water with a limp snake just sort of uncoiling from you.
Swamp. And there's one left.
There are 2 sets of ripples left.
And what distance are they?
About 20 feet away.
I guess is the water going to give them cover if I shoot at them?
I'll say no. They're pretty close to the surface.
All right, then I will let one of them have it with 2 shots from my hand crossbow, as I am a crossbow expert.
Let's see it.
It's you suddenly see the same school of action as Speedy here with the hand crossbow. All right, and 20 something and a 7, so
All
I would
right.
assume 1.
The first one hits, absolutely.
All right. Oh, nice. For max damage, 10 points of damage.
Nice. You see a crossbow bolt sink into some flesh in that water, and it just convulses. And it is still for a moment, but then you see the ripples continue to move towards you. Anything else on your turn?
No, because I already used my bonus action, other than to make sure I'm with the group and like between Arabelle and the ripples.
Okay. Actually, the one that just got injured is going to swim away because these things have self-preservation and it is very, very, very hurt. So you see it slowly kind of meander off into the distance and disappear under the water and start heading down toward the deeper, darker muck. However, the other one is fresh and alive and hungry for Blood Hunter Cleric, so it's going to come for you again, Station.
Okay.
How's about a 14 to hit?
Nope.
Awesome. So you see this guy come actually rocketing out of the water to try and get you in the neck, and it latches on briefly to the bit of armor that you have over that neck, and then like you hear its fangs clang against it, and then it just slides off into the water. Arabelle, it is now your turn.
Would you say that I could see these creatures?
Yes. And
Okay.
There is only one left that is hostile. The other one is trying to get away.
All right. I am going to shuffle my deck of cards and then peel off the top. And the card that I peel off the top is the Conjurer. So she just kind of flicks it up and it hangs in the air for a brief moment as 4 beads of arcane energy appear above her. She's going to cast a 2nd level magic missile. And have one of the magic missiles hit the one that is running away, and the other 3 are going to hit the one that just hit Stetchen.
All right, let's see damage for that.
All right, so for the one that ran away, that is 2 damage.
All right.
And then for the one that just did a heckin' bite against Stetchen, wowee, for a total of 7 points.
All right. That boyo that just did a heckin' bite is still alive. However, it is bloodied. The other snake convulses. You see a scattering of silt underneath the water, and then a white scaly belly as it floats to the surface. And it is dead. There is one constrictor left that is hostile.
She's gonna snap her fingers and say, "Should have pulled Executioner."
And geez, that's terrifying. And and the other one is a good friendo to Billie. So at the top of the round, it's going to be Victor.
Hey, question. I mean, I don't think there's anything that says I can't use it, so I'm going to toll the toll the dead on the one that's left hostile. So wisdom saving throw, please.
Alrighty. 11.
That fails. Because I'm a higher level, that's 2d12.
So not very wise.
10 necrotic damage on poor Sneck.
All right, Sneck is dead. How does this look as you kill it?
Rippin' Sneck. There is a tolling noise, like a very like a lot like that. That just seemingly comes out of nowhere, and the snake is overcome by necrotic damage that just kind of inside out kind of tears away at its flesh.
Spooky. And we are out of initiative. 3 dead snakes and 1 that's a friend.
And Stetchen, you still are inspired for 10 minutes, so just keep that in mind there, buddy.
I'll keep it in mind.
All right, dear, you go play somewhere else and don't eat things that you don't know where they've been. That's really disgusting. Like, you could catch something. You don't know what these outsiders have on them.
The snake will slither off of your shoulders and then just turn around in the water and give you like a really sad, dumb look. Like, you're leaving?
Okay, you can have one more snickety snook.
It unhinges its jaw and partakes in the snoot. Amazing. All right. Now what do you do?
We keep going.
Arabelle is on Rosalia's shoulders this entire time.
Everyone all right?
Honestly, fine.
Yeah, I do believe this was a good idea to wear the armor, though it's heavy in the swamp.
Oh,
Yeah, do me a favor, stay above water.
I would try.
All right. I would like someone to give me a survival check to navigate the rest of this bog.
3.
Oh, I would do. Okay.
I got 3. Who is anybody else good at surviving?
Yeah, I am good at survival.
Okay, I vote Stetchen.
How about you help me?
You also still have your bardic inspiration.
Yes. So
yes, I will assist in the surviving because I am at a taller vantage point.
oh my god. Okay. I will use my bardic die. Oh, thank goodness. Okay. Whew. I rolled stupid low, but I'm +6 and a 4 on that die, so that's 10 plus my other 4 that I rolled. I rolled a 1 and a 4, so 14 altogether. Is that right? 6.
All right. You fought tooth and nail for that 14.
It's this way. No, it's this way. That way. I don't know.
It's over there, Bishop.
That shit. Where's the girl says? Let's go.
Bold words for someone who rolled a 4. So you are able to make your way through this. Basically, I don't know what is the exact definition of a bayou. I want to say bayou.
But bayou is essentially it's a river that doesn't move. Like it's just still water.
Yes, that's exactly what this is. Then it is a bayou. So you're basically just in the shallow part of the Luna. If you moved a little bit off to the east, you would start hitting moving water again, and it would start heading up towards the north into the lake. However, this river has just kind of swelled out of its bed and has created this bog. You eventually start seeing buildings. They have all just been reduced to stone and rotting timbers. Every now and then you'll see a skull or maybe some other bit of detritus that is the result of the drowning of this town. It becomes increasingly obvious that the horrors that Strahd visited upon Barovia and Vallaki, not the day before, I guess it was a couple days before. It's not the first time that she's done something like this. Yesterday it was in water, today in flame. Strahd still destroys. And you will eventually come to a point where the fog begins to grow thicker, and you start to see humanoid figures just kind of standing quietly in the mists. just off in the distance, just these silhouettes of people standing taller than they should.
And is that where we want to go to a break?
I think that's actually a good idea. Yes, let's do that.
Excellent. So we are going to try and be back in 5 to 10 minutes. So don't go no place unless it is to grab a food, grab a drink, grab a friend, or possibly go and leave us a review. Let us know how we're doing. We include all of our Twitter handles during our live shows, so that way you can let us know how we are standing. So we are going to try and be back soon. So don't go no place. All right, everybody. Bye-bye. And we're back in a really, really spooky drowned town that's totally not sounds like Paris. Wings, take it away.
The drowned town. I like that. So yes, you had started to reach some like chest-high water, and you can see off in the distance there are completely immobile humanoid shapes that are standing just a little bit higher than they should be, just sort of silhouetted in the mist, and then they'll like disappear as the mist grows thicker, and then reappear again, probably a little too close for comfort. So how like, and you will become very aware of the fact that your speed has been reduced because you're moving through water, but you are also making a lot of noise, just kind of sloshing through. So how do you go about this?
I would like to, if possible, use the gust cantrip to always have our scent leading behind where we're going, rather than giving any kind of predator the like, I smell them coming, now to lay in wait. Like, always have it basically be at our backs,
Like giving us a headwind.
Yeah.
All right. So you will cast gust. How fast is a gust cast?
It's a harmless sensory effect, is what it says. Yeah.
Oh, so it's not like
I can choose for it to be strong enough to knock a medium or smaller creature over, or it can just be a harmless sensory gust of air.
Cool. I like it. So as you are sloshing through the muck, and you get that nice refreshing headwind on you, at some point you will actually walk almost directly into one of these silhouetted figures, and you will find that it is actually a sackcloth grin, like full-on T-pose. You discover that these are scarecrows. However, as you guys are like all up in arms, getting like especially Rosalia, who has encountered these before, and Billie, who knows that these are a threat. As you're getting your arms up and ready to defend yourselves, you realize that this is a completely inanimate scarecrow. It does not react at all. However, its belly is kind of distended with raven feathers.
I don't like that at all.
Do not look. Let us pass. Continue on. Go around. You don't want to know. I'm just saying.
So you just kind of circumnavigate it.
I'm trying to, like, I'm going to try to stand there and let everyone pass by it.
All right.
So that Rosalia doesn't, like, tear it open or whatever.
Station Pratt keeps the scarecrow.
Would Billie be able to tell the difference between a mundane scarecrow and one of the animated ones from a distance?
Either detect magic or give me an Arcana check.
Try Arcana. I'm gonna say 19 Arcana.
All right. You, as a rule of thumb, you like to assume that every scarecrow is capable of being animated at any moment, but you are very certain that this is a scarecrow that was hand stitched by Baba Lysaga herself, and if it was not a construct that could animate itself at any given moment, you would be very surprised. It is, however, completely still. Just its enormous grin on its face and its head lolled off to the side.
So I'm thinking this could animate.
Yes. You are almost certain.
Listen, do you all want to go ahead?
All right. Thank you, Billie. Thank you.
Go ahead. Don't worry about me.
And
Billie, what are you going to do?
Is there another scarecrow within 120 feet?
Go along, darlings.
Yes, I believe so. It's going to be it would be hard to target in this fog. And you haven't been able to get an accurate count, but you feel like there's more out there.
That's fine. I want to put myself like sort of in the middle of two scarecrows that I know are going to animate, or that I have a pretty good sense that are going to animate.
Mm-hmm.
As a bonus action, I would like to cast Nature's Armor, and have the rose thorns from Billie's arms start creeping along the rest of her body. And spend 1 sorcery point to twin spell some fire bolts. So around Billie's rose thorn fingertips and her actual green hat fingertips, these just pink purple flames just start going off in two different directions.
All right. Give me some attacks.
Natural 1. And 18.
18. All right. 18 will hit. Natural 1 will go flying off into the air, just kind of like a flare. And you see that firebolt just absolutely into a scarecrow's chest as it's just kind of spread eagle on its pole.
9 points of fire damage.
Thank you. I was just about to ask for that. And you see it almost immediately begin to writhe, and it will jump down into the water, and you will see it almost immediately extinguish itself. And then it just sort of jerks itself up out of the water. You can see its face is blackened and singed, and feathers are just kind of falling out of its joints in every other direction. And then it just kind of rolls its cloth limbs into place, and then it starts sprinting towards you. And you can hear a splashing sound from the other scarecrow that you did not attack. Or tried to attack and missed, and it seems to be running towards you as well.
And Billie will just let out this like cackle, it's like as she's just spamming out these firebolts.
Distantly, you can hear more similar splooshes in to the water. Roll initiative, everybody!
If it wasn't obvious, what I'm trying to do is just like draw them toward me and away from the rest of the group.
I hear you, man.
Same hat.
Same hat. Same witch hat.
Same hat. Yeah.
I got a 12.
12 for Rosalia.
Way too worried about Arabelle, I think. Yeah, I rolled a 3 again. So with my +4, that's a 7.
All right. And for Billie,
Is that a 3?
sorry, I can't see you.
Sorry, yeah, 3. Sorry.
Arabelle
That's a 1.
and Victor.
I got a 23.
23. Amazing. Victor, always on top of it.
I'm a very aware ghost who is hoping that lighting these scarecrows on fire disguised as witches shows that we're good, like, to contend with witches, I guess.
Okay, Victor, you're at the top of the round.
How many people can I touch at once?
I'm gonna guess everybody but Billie, because I assume everybody else is just kind of huddled together. How far are you guys from Billie?
Billy
on how-
sent us forward, so I was assuming we'd be at least like 20 feet, 30 feet away.
Yeah, I was thinking probably like 20 feet away from Billie.
Well, Billy, how far would we have gotten before you would have started doing stuff? I guess is the...
I was hoping like 60 feet.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, you're the one who's casting the spells, so it's like, it's not necessarily up to us. It'd be more up to you as to when you fired off.
Right. Well, since I got these other 3 around me, I am going to cast Heroism at 3rd level, and give all of you guys immune to being frightened, and you gain 3 temp hit points at the beginning of each of your turns.
Ooh. Do they stack, or is it just 3?
They don't stack, right? It's just 3, but
Yeah,
you
yeah.
regain that 3 every turn,
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
and that's a concentration for 1 minute, and that's all I'm going to do on my turn.
Okay. Everybody else 60 feet away from Billie. There is an uninjured scarecrow about 40 feet from Billie, a injured scarecrow about 100 feet from Billie, and then there are definitely other scarecrows somewhere out in the mist, as you can hear them sloshing around in the water. Now,
Actually, quick question: how far can I get from Stetchen and not be like terrified by the screams and wails of Barovia?
Ooh, good question. I'm gonna say that Stetchen has pretty much a 60-foot radius on him.
Cool. I'm gonna get like 30 feet closer to Billie so I can maybe target some things next round.
All right. Cool. Uh-huh. All right. So, you guys hear some splooshing and moving around in the water. And the uninjured one is going to... Did I say that the uninjured one was 40 feet away or 100?
40.
40, thank you. Uninjured one is going to slosh through the water. Now, your speeds are halved in the muck, except for Victor, who is not hindered by earthly things such as that. And so this scarecrow is going to just double move and get to about 10 feet away from you. And it's just kind of like sloshing through the water with its big smiling face, just like really eager to get to you. And the other one is going to do a similar thing. And it is Rosalia.
I will run, I guess, 15 feet towards the scarecrow that Billie was setting on fire.
Okay.
And I will throw one of my daggers at it.
All right. 15 feet towards it. That gets you, oh god, math. Help. You are now 45 feet away from it.
Mm-hmm. So it's within range. So. Ew. 10.
All right. 10 unfortunately is not going to hit.
Yeah.
All right. More splooshing in the mists, and then it is Station.
Now, does the Night Mother, is Sacred Flame a choice in her spell repertoire?
It is, but Sacred Flame deals radiant damage, not fire.
Right. But I don't have a fire spell, so so I'm going to use Radiant. I will, because it's also Toll the Dead. Does only the victim hear the sound of the bell tolling, or is it an actual audible effect?
I feel like that's
Barovia?
I feel like that's a thematic choice.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll use Sacred Flame because I like the imagery.
All right.
And they need to make I believe it's Dexterity saving throw. Yes.
Are you attacking the one that was set on fire or the one that didn't get hit?
It's a 60-foot range, so if the one that is on fire or was on fire is in range, I'll hit that one first.
All right, go for it. Which is to say, wait, is that an attack roll or do I need to make a save?
You save.
Save. Okay. And what
Dexterity.
kind of dexterity? How's about an 18?
That does indeed save. Okay. So I believe nothing happens.
Okay.
Yep.
And then it is Billie.
All right. So has the one that I didn't hit, has that one been hit since?
No.
Okay. Sorcerers, man. So what I would like to do is quicken spell, call lightning.
Oh boy.
So I'm going to need the one that I did hit to make a dexterity save.
Okay. 10 probably doesn't make it.
No. That's D10s, fuck me. Okay, and we'll be taking 16 points of lightning damage.
Alrighty.
Wait. Is it? Are we considered to be in stormy conditions?
I'll allow it.
Okay, so that was 18. Now it's 26 points of lightning damage.
All
I
right.
rolled another 8.
You absolutely blow a hole through this scarecrow, and it just kind of stands there for a second, smiling at you, and then it slumps into the water. Sploosh.
All right, that was my bonus action. For my action, I would like to try to hit the other one with Firebolt. Will a 21 hit?
Absolutely.
Oh, man. That's 11 points of fire damage.
All right. Fire damage is bad for Scarecrow. It is bloodied. You can see half of its body just go up in flame and start charring. And then it is Arabelle.
How many of these can I see?
You can see one flaming Scarecrow. And the rest are just kind of moving about in the fog. You can hear splashing.
Wait, one's fleeing?
If you'd like to, yeah. Billie just cast Firebolt at one of them.
Okay. I'm gonna do a second level magic missile. And this time I will try and show the Executioner card. And the one that is running away will take 3 of the magic missile bolts, and then the one that is...
You can only see one right now.
Oh, okay. Well, then that one, I guess, is going to... I'll cast a first level magic missile then, and then that one will receive all 3 of my bolts.
All right.
My bolts! Let's hope this works. Ooh, this is much better. For a total of 9 points of force damage.
Nice. How do you smoke this boy?
So Arabelle, does the thing where as she's shuffling cards, her hands extend outward and the cards just kind of fall into place. And then she flips up the first one, but holds it between, obviously, her middle and pointer finger above her head. And as she does, she kind of closes her eyes and makes a quick prayer to the Night Mother, because her magic missile spell is actually through her cleric subclass and not through wizard. So as she does, 3 bolts of magical energy appear above her. That is this kind of very dark purple color. And then they just streak out unerringly and just whip through, kind of like... They skirt across the water line, so it has that, it has like the little speed ripples coming from it until eventually they just pepper this scarecrow and just knock it down. And then she looks at the card. I knew Executioner was the right choice, and she shuffles it back into the deck and just starts shuffling again.
And it definitely does like that stuntman getting riddled with bullets thing and then just falls over.
Yes! And then for a bonus action, God, do I even have bonus actions? Fucking no. That's it for my turn.
All right. So at the bottom of the round, it suddenly becomes eerily quiet. All of that splashing stops. Victor, you're at the top of the round.
There was another scarecrow, right? And I don't know where it's at. Or there was the sounds of another scarecrow.
There's at least one more, but you can hear splashing coming in from several directions.
Okay, so I can still hear splashing coming from other directions. Mm-hmm. Oof. And no one's injured yet either, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can I just hold an action then to Toll the Dead, the first scarecrow or first enemy I see that comes in range, which would be 60 feet of me?
Okay. I'm on board for that. Anything else?
That's what I'll do.
Okay. So, your turn ends, and there is just an eerie silence across the bog, save for the sound of buzzing gnats and just kind of the burbling and gurgling of air rising to the surface, and then something else rises to the surface, and a mud-streaked scarecrow comes bursting out of the water and will attempt to terrify Billie, I think, as it just suddenly out of the water. Oh, shoot, you're the one that needs to make a wisdom saving throw.
And then
I'm just so eager to roll dice.
And I can Toll the Dead that one?
Yes. In fact, since it came out of the water, go ahead and Toll the Dead on it now.
Yep.
And it rolled a 7, so it fails.
Hooray! It has not previously taken damage, so 7 necrotic damage.
All right. All right, Billie, what'd you get?
That was a 3.
Oh boy! Guess who's frightened until the end of this guy's next turn?
Billie was cackling this entire time, and she's just like calling down lightning, shooting fire out of her fingertips. And she's just like,
It's just like falling on you like a limp rag doll. Yeah, it's like somebody threw a mannequin at you, just kind of juggling it in the air with its noodle arms. All right, it is now Rosalia.
So a scarecrow has just made its way towards Billie.
Yep, it is right up on's.
I will head towards it. Can I get to it?
Yes.
If I can move 15 feet? Okay.
I will allow this.
Okay. I will try to stab it with my rapier because I threw my dagger.
Slosh, 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 slosh.
Does a modified 20 hit?
Oh, absolutely.
Awesome.
One hundo.
I get sneak attack because I got people nearby.
I am literally on your shoulders.
Yep. Jacked. 4, 10, 11.
11 damage?
Is 14.
14 damage. All right. You can see that your dagger pierces into its flesh, but it seems to be resisting. Do you have a magical weapon of any sort?
Mm-mm. Just a regular rapier.
It seems to be resisting your mundane rapier. All right. Anything else for you?
I would like to yell out to Stetchen because I know his weapon is moon.
Silvered and a moon blade. Yep.
Yes.
All right, cool. Stetchen, it is all you, bro.
Here you go, my darling. I'll give her the moon blade.
Awesome.
Oh, no, I meant for you to attack it, that you would be able to hit it better.
Oh, well, nope. I'm using my interaction to give you the sword. It's, yeah, I think it's a short sword. Give me 1 second. Because I don't think...
With your dex being 18, I'm pretty sure it's a short sword, because long swords do not have the finesse property.
Yeah, I think we called it a rapier, but it's like it's pretty much this. So, all right. And so that'll be my interaction if feasible. And then I will call the sacred flame once again upon any of them that are busted up or wounded. I'll try to remove them from the fight first.
Sure thing. Y'all can only see one, and it's the one that's currently being juggled by a frightened Billie.
Okay. All right. So I call down the sacred flame, which actually, in my case, is the souls of the dead that surround me reach up and try to tear things to pieces with the soul fire.
Nice.
They save, dex save.
Okay. How's about a 13?
That fails. Woo woo. All right. So that is 11 points of damage, of radiant damage.
Ouch, 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 ouch. Alrighty. Oh, Billie, I apologize. I have a bad habit of reading the first part of a stat block and then just stopping when I really need to read it the whole way through. It says here the frightened target is paralyzed.
Okay.
So it is your turn, and you are just scared stiff.
Hold on. Let me check the paralyzed condition.
Hold up.
I can't move or speak. Okay. I would like to use my action.
Okay.
Because I have Call Lightning up.
All right. Explain to me how you are going to call lightning as a paralyzed Billie.
I continue to scream.
Okay.
And hopefully I still have enough control over my Sorcerer's Lightning to still shock this creature.
All right. Go for it.
I need to make a dexterity save.
Okay. Ooh, 12.
12. Okay, that fails. How far away from me would you consider this creature?
Oh, it is right up on you.
Okay, so I also fail.
Oh boy. This seems reasonable.
Wait, aren't Rosalia and I also like right up on this?
Yeah, right up on. Like waist deep in water.
Okay, so because of the spell, I do get to choose where the point is. Would I be able to get the creature and myself, but not them?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm okay with that.
And yeah, that's 4d10.
Holy butts! You're about to kill yourself, Billie.
No.
I will be fine, darling.
I'm so concerned.
19 points of lightning damage.
Oh yeah, it's dead.
I'm not.
Excellent. Oh, that's not correct. Add. There you go. Yep, super dead. Super dead.
Am I still paralyzed? If the source of my fear is out of combat.
I'll allow it. Arbel, it's you. The bog is unnervingly quiet. You do, however, see a light turn on to the north.
Great. Mentally, it was one of those like stealth mission. Got it. Cuckoosh! Cuckoosh! Like.
Yeah, there's like ripples moving outward in concentric circles from Billie's position.
So Arbel is going to reach as far as their little 9-year-old arm can, and just say, hold on, Shepherd, the Night Mother's not done with you yet, and she's going to cast a 3rd level Cure Wounds on Billie.
Ooh.
Oh, that's sweet of you, dear.
And you are going to gain back. Oh boy. That is going to be 9 points.
Hey, I'll take it.
Yep, that is. I don't have a bonus action, so that's it for my turn.
9 points is really sad for a 3rd level.
Yeah, it is.
All right. So at the bottom of the round, I mentioned before that it was very worryingly quiet, and now you start hearing worrying sounds coming from that light, and that light begins to move. And what you hear is basically just a bunch of like rhythmic splashing, just kind of like sploosh, 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 sploosh. And that light just begins to move in a very lumbering way. And it gets pretty dang close to you guys. And you realize that this is a light from a window. And the dang thing just lumbers right on past you guys. Sploosh, 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 sploosh. It comes directly out of the fog, just like full on Miyazaki, like Howl's Moving Castle style. You see a house that has been set on top of an enormous stump, like this is like a gargantuan size, so like about 40 feet across, I think. 40-foot diameter, this stump is alone. And its roots have just been ripped up out of the ground, and they are articulating like spider legs. And you can see on the front of this hut, just swinging like crazy, are 2 wrought iron cages with squawking ravens inside. And they are just like shedding feathers like crazy, and they are not having a great time, as it just kind of moves jauntily through the swamp and just goes right on past you.
Would it be possible how close is it as it's going by us? Is it like right by us as it's moving, or is it like 20 feet away as it moves by?
It is, I'll say about 20 feet. It's closer than comfortable, but it is close enough that you can see it in the mist.
So not within jumping off of Rosalia onto the thing.
Rosalia's tempted to jump onto the thing.
I will allow this, actually. You can actually run up to the hut, just kind of like splash your way through the water to get up close to it, and roll me either an athletics or an acrobatics check to just kind of.
You're gonna get a 17 because of my portent ability. So a 17 on the die, add your acrobatics.
Also, I have second story work as a feat, which climbing no longer costs me extra movement, and when I make a running jump, the distance I cover can increase by 3 feet.
It sounds an awful lot like you just latch onto this stump like a spider. Just.
So speaking of latching onto stumps like a spider, can Billie reach into her hair and pull out this tarantula?
Yes.
Yuck! I love it!
All right, dickhead, I need you to go over there and get something for me, okay? Yeet!
And and I want to throw Frankie at the house.
I love it. Okay. I feel like I need to make you roll for this.
10, my dexterity is 2.
Cool. Yeet.
Am I proficient with spiders?
Sure. Spider chucking. I feel like this isn't the first time you've done this. So Lord Dickhead will latch on to a leg of the stump, and then that leg will just go directly into the water. And you don't know for sure whether or not he made it. Sploosh, 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 sploosh.
So
You're doing amazing, sweetie.
So Rosalia and by extension Arabelle are
latched onto the side.
latched onto
of this.
Saga's. I'm assuming her house as she's running away, or just going out for a stroll. Who knows?
It is just creeping. It's creeping along, this hut.
We didn't need them, did we, Stitchin? I think we needed them.
I think we do. So, and his coat is now like it usually flows behind him. It's like floating on the water as he's running. And
the Stitch. If we find the goat pen, maybe we can have the house come to us.
So should we keep going? Am I catching this hut or not? Is this our bus?
He said he's just casually walking next to you as you're like really going at it in the water, and he's like, I don't think you're going to be able to catch up to that thing, buddy.
Goat pen it is. There's not a goat pen attached to the hut, right?
No.
All right.
It's just the stump with a hut and then some cages swinging on the front.
I'm sure.
Can I say that I chucked Stetchin's sword back at him before I jumped?
Sure. I would allow this. I don't know if I'd recommend this, but I'll allow it.
I can assist with a mage hand if it helps.
To get it back to Stetchin?
Yeah. Just as we're going, Bishop, you're going to need this! Which in Barovia, mage hand looks like a little skeleton hand.
Can I have my mage hand also catch it and bring it to Stetchin, except mine's more ghostly?
Ooh.
Sure, but Stetchin's the only one who can see it, so like everybody else just sees a sword floating through the air, like in a weird, creepy, like jaggedy way. It's clipping.
Right.
Clank, 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 clank.
Thank
We need
you.
to get that patched. So Arbel and Rosalia disappear off into the distance. Billie, oh god, you've split the party. Billie, Vic, and Stashin. What is your move?
Let's find that goat pen real quick. Right quick.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a goat pen.
Yeah, goat pen. Sorry, I responded to something that I shouldn't have.
I liked it actually. Yeah, I was just gonna let it slide. Maybe I said something. Yeah, it's a goat pen. It's a good idea. To no one. To which you said, yeah, goat pen.
I'm willing to entertain the idea that every now and then somebody will hear something, like just like a whisper on the wind, and then be all like, "Wait, but there's nobody there." Shivers down the back. So I imagine that the Ravens have been able to brief you on the general area to look for said goat pen, since it was very specifically pointed out to you. I will allow you to just start heading in that direction.
I was going to say, with prestidigitation, I could mark trees with a color or small mark to kind of create a breadcrumb like trail to lead to where we're going.
I love that. That's fucking rad. Totally on board for that.
Yeah, and I can have up to 3 at a time, so it's just like, all right, mark.
All right,
mark.
Cool.
And they last.
Mark.
They last,
like for an hour.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. I'm on board for that.
Okay.
We will resolve what happens to you guys in a minute.
We're gonna get eaten.
Fine.
It's fine. Don't worry. It's fine.
I'm used to Steven having a death wish, but now you're taking JD with you.
A recently married woman.
It's true. How very dare.
There may or may not be a spider with you.
Schrödinger spider.
All spiders are Schrödinger spiders whenever you don't see them anymore.
All right. So
Schrödinger's.
You guys basically find some higher ground. You slowly make your way up, and the chest high water becomes waist high water, becomes knee high water, and then eventually you're just kind of walking on semi-solid ground, though your boots still kind of suck into the mud a little bit. And you eventually start hearing the bleating of goats. You're wandering through what appears to be a just broken down, dilapidated town. All of the buildings have been reduced to just kind of stone in the vague shapes of like the blueprint of a house. And you can look inside and see that there is just smashed furniture and such. But following the bleating of the goats, you eventually find a gated area. Now the fence is very high, and there is like absolutely no way to get into it. There's no gate, there's no door, there's no nothing. And there's about 50 posts that kind of make up this gated area. You can see a bunch of fat, lazy goats just kind of munching and grazing on swamp grass. And at the top of each one of these posts is a skull. A human skull, I should say.
Would I know what sort of magic this is?
Roll me something, mister.
6.
6. All right. You have a vague sense, like if it were you, you'd probably do some magic bullshit here, but you don't know exactly what.
I'll figure out what she's doing, and I'll do my best to learn these dark secrets.
I am proficient in Arcana. May I?
Yes, absolutely. I would love.
Oh my god, that dice needs retirement. Okay. 8.
Okay, great.
She's confuddled us.
What could it be?
Just throw rocks at these skulls. What could possibly happen? They burst into
What could
flames.
possibly go wrong? Yeah. Yeah, so you don't know exactly what's going on here. You do remember that the Were-Raven said that there was some way to, like, basically alert Baba Lysaga that you're screwing with the goats. And she very consistently always comes to deal with that. And they have lost a few ravens doing that, so...
So what's the plan? Do we want them to? Do we want Baba to come?
Yeah, but why don't we think? Why don't? Let us review. And is there a way that I can cast guidance on Vic and have Vic do Arcana to check or to see if he can think or know anything about these?
Sure.
I can check all day if you like.
I will do that. I will, whip out the old medallion and give him the guidance. So you get a D4.
Just boop him right on the forehead with it.
Yep.
Add a D4 to your skill check, Mr. Sir.
Could have had a D8, except it's a D4.
Did you nat 1, hun?
No, but close enough. It is, though, a 9 total.
I see. It will be trial and error.
Now, I have a suggestion. I could attempt to dispel magic on it and break whatever she's doing or attempt to break. But I also wanted to look around if the statue I saw earlier is nearby.
Okay. Are you going to dispel magic first, or are you going to look for the statue first?
Before we fuck with anything, I want to, one, have a better idea what we're doing, and 2, set up an ambush for when Baba Lysaga surprises us with her dastardly deeds.
Okay. Do you explain this to Station?
Yes.
All right.
And I, in turn, tell Billie.
Okay. Billie, you watch a one-sided conversation, and then Station fills you in. Which, honestly, you kind of infer, because Station is very animated and, has a tendency to repeat things that the ghosts tell him. So, Station turns around and tells you something that you've already figured out.
Right. I have a question.
Yes.
What is this goat pen made out of? Is it made out of, a sort of wood?
Mm-hmm. A really sturdy, almost bamboo.
Okay. So I have this cantrip.
Uh-huh.
It's called Infestation.
Uh-huh.
Can I infest it with termites?
You certainly could. I would, discuss the timing of that with your team members.
So, I might be able to, get rid of some of this wood here.
Let us give Victor a few moments to look around and whatnot. And why don't we search too? Maybe we could come up with some more clues.
Sure.
Okay. So, the scouting party, as I'm going to call you guys now, I don't know, Team Ghost Tag. Team Witch Hunt?
Goat Savers?
Witch Hunt spelled WHICH.
Team Goat Pen.
Team Goat Pen, yes. You're Team Witch Hut, Team Witch Hut, and we'll be Team Goat Pen.
Oh, nice. Witch Hut and Goat Pen. Okay, fine. So Team Goat Harassers have agreed to look around the town for a little bit. Let's check out Witch Hut for a little bit. So this frankly, almost in like it moves in almost an insectoid manner. With it's got thematically appropriate in a very thematically appropriately appropriate. It's appropriate. It's got 8 of these leggy root things, and it just sort of meanders its way through the swamp, and like for like a worrying moment, you feel like it's just never gonna stop. When finally it just seems to find a place that it finds comfortable. It kind of skitters this way, skitters that way, and then it just kind of turns in a little circle, and then it settles down. You watch its roots just sort of twist and push themselves into the earth, and then it shudders a little bit and stops. And those ravens just keep on squawking. They are hoarse, unhappy critters. And Rosala, you actually recognize the sound of one of these ravens as a were-raven. It just kind of has a distinct call. So you know for a fact that there is a were-raven trapped in one of their cages, and just barely over the din of this singing were-raven or screaming were-raven, you can hear humming from just an ancient sounding old lady from within the hut, and there's just kind of a warm glow coming from the windows. And as you're latched onto the side of this hut, at some point you feel something crawl across your hand, and it is a tarantula that will kind of walk over to you and then just turn around and give you a very meaningful look and kind of lift its 2 legs, just like, right.
Oh, wave at it like this, because I assume I saw Billie yeet the spider towards us, and that I know it's a friend.
Yep.
I'll say it'll be interesting to see how you can help us. So let's just say for funsies that I have thieves' tools, but I have no skill.
Oh, that's fun. Anything you can do about that, Arabelle?
Not inherently. But the goal is to open up is to open up the cages, right?
Yes.
Okay. Arabelle is or she can say I could cast magic missile on the locks, and then I could have another one kind of sploosh off to the side. Make it sound like we were coming from a little bit farther away in the distance.
I'd rather we be stealthy about this.
Once she's out of the hut, I can blind her. We just need to get her out of the hut and then in and out. One last job.
Spider, do you have any ideas?
Unhelpful gesturing.
What are the cages made out of? Are they metal?
Wrought iron.
Wrought iron. Okay. Yeah, aside from just like stabbing at it or jabbing at thieves' tools with absolutely no skill, even though I could have sworn I had done something. But
I'm going to say, how do you not? I think it comes with your thieving. I'm pretty sure it's perfect.
I mean, I have sleight of hand, but I don't have like.
No, there is no skill associated with it. It's a tool set.
Oh.
Yeah,
well,
okay.
no,
it's a tool proficiency. It would be on
in
the left-hand side.
You have to have. Okay.
In the left-hand side of your base page of D&D Beyond, it'll show your proficiencies in languages, and if you don't have thieves' tools in your proficiency.
I totally have thieves' tools.
Okay. Then yeah, then you're proficient.
Okay.
You're good.
Okay. So I'll just set to work picking that lock.
All right. Both of you give me stealth checks. Whilst Rosalia is picking that lock, what is Arabelle doing?
Fearing for her goddamn life. She's 9 years old, and this is Baba Lysaga. This is a bad time. This is a bad time had by everybody. But she is.
Oh.
Bwomp, 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 bwomp. What she is going to do is that she wants to. She will cast Magic Weapon on Rosalia's rapier.
Okay.
And then she is going to just sort of hold back and wait to see what happens. You said that there are like windows, right? That we can kind of peek into.
Absolutely.
I would like to see if I can possibly like look in as any 9-year-old would into a hag's fucking lair, just and see if I can see Valiant, the gem that we are supposed to be trying to find. I assume that this is a tree that is acting in a most unusual manner. Chances are it will be here.
All right. Have I asked you guys for stealth checks yet?
That's what I got the 20 on. So it's a 29 total.
Oh,
right.
I thought that. Okay. Oh, not bad. 16.
16. Excellent. All right. Rosalia, go ahead and roll to pick the lock. On one of those cages, you're able to discern which one has the were-raven inside. You recognize her as Muriel, who is not in your family, but she is a part of the Keepers of the Feather. She went missing a few days ago and was presumed dead. Evidently not. So
I'd like to tell the ravens, I understand you want out. I'm gonna unlock this, but I don't want you all to come flying out because otherwise she'll notice.
Okay, that's cool.
Okay.
Smart. Arabelle, you peek up over the window. You look into this hag's hut, and first thing you notice is that you get a very strong iron smell. And you look down, you see directly underneath the window, there is a bathtub that's made out of metal, and it is just rusty and stained with blood. As though, like, it is very clearly a tub intended for filling with blood and then, taking a good old scrubber in it. There is also a desk and a chest, a bed, some cupboards and such. It's a cozy little old granny's home. And in the middle of the room, there is a crib. And in this crib is I'd say about probably like less than a year-old infant with a big old mop of black hair. And it's just kind of standing up in the crib and looking up with this just angelic face up into the face of this enormous, terrifyingly old woman. She has hands that are tipped in claws. Her clothing is just like all in rags. Her hair is knotted up into like this elaborate updo and hangs down in these long braids and dreads. She's got raven skulls just hanging off of her as just kind of her adornments, and she just jingles as she moves. And she's got a face that has been worn, and it's like leather just kind of stretched over her skull, and you can tell that the wrinkles have been furrowed from just centuries of scowling. But when she looks down into the face of this child, that scowl melts away, and she is just filled with joy, looking down at this little, what you can infer is a little girl. Her hair is a little bit longer, and actually bears a remarkable resemblance to you. And Baba Lysaga is just kind of stroking her hair with those enormously long claws, with a hand that is just about the size of the child itself. And she's singing in a low, croaky tune. Hair as black as ravens, heart as hard as bone. The eldest and the rightful heir to take King Bearov's throne. And she's just singing a little lullaby to this kid.
Good. I'm glad at all of this.
Uh-huh.
I'm 9.
Good catchphrase. Continue.
And she's distracted.
Uh-huh.
So dumb me believes that Arabelle would try and sneak in.
Okay.
But I want to, like, if I can I see Rosalia at all? Or
yes,
can Rosalia... okay.
You can peek around. You can see that Rosalia is very, like, invested in what she's doing. Every now and then she, like, will speak to a raven. She, like, is working the lock. And at some point she, like, holds up her tool and has a raven hold onto it for her, and then she, like, will fiddle with it a bit.
Awesome. So I'm going to look at Rosalia and point through the window, give her the thumbs up, and then just begin crawling into the hut.
Cool. Roll me a stealth check.
Oh god. Hey, that's a 19.
Ooh. So you crawl into the window. You get your foot down onto the tub, and it slips just the slightest bit, but you are able to, with your cloth shoes, prevent any sort of squeaking sound, and then just very quickly hop down the lightest step and get underneath the desk, off to the right. And as you're just kind of, like, peeking with your enormous 9-year-old eyes from underneath this desk, you can see the floor very well. These floorboards are all just kind of twisted and gnarled, and they look an awful lot like it might look if the house moved every so often. They just, they are very creaky. They don't necessarily want to stay down or flat anywhere. And you can see that there are some twisted, sort of pried apart floorboards directly underneath the crib, and there is a prominent purple light coming from underneath them.
Wait. Is Lord Dickhead with me or with Rosalia?
Oh, Dickhead can be with you.
Okay. I am going to look at this tarantula.
Mm-hmm.
And this is such a bad idea. I am going to wait to see what Rosalia does while I am just hiding with Lord Dickhead the spider.
All right. Lord Dickhead the Spider is the name of my next band. Rosalia, how did you roll on your lockpicking check?
I rolled a 19 on the dice.
Nice. All right. Click. That lock is completely undone.
Okay. So I'll say, okay, Arabelle, when I give the signal, be ready to jump. And I turn to look and I go, fuck.
I think that you turn your head just in time to watch her disappear through the window.
Yeah. New plan. Ravens, when I give the signal, fly all around the house and then away as far as you can get.
All right. Cool.
And I will get as close to being inside the window without being inside the window.
All right. The ravens continue to caw, but now it's more of a like, we were cawing before. If we stop cawing now, it's going to be a different thing, and she's probably going to want to know why we stopped. So we're cawing now. Caw, caw, caw. And Arabelle, as you're hiding underneath the desk, you can hear Baba Lysaga say, "My dear sweet girl, my beloved daughter, Strahd, I love you." And we're going to cut back over to the goat hustlers.
Oh, thanks, I hate it!
Man, I'm sure everything's fine over with the other team right now.
I mean, my spider hasn't died yet, so...
So we just do nothing and go back to that other scene.
Oh, if I had a nickel for every time you guys have tried that.
In another dimension, a dragonborn gets a nosebleed.
like the horrible anime ones.
So you guys have been wandering around. I'm looking at time right now, so I'm gonna kind of truncate a little bit of this. But you guys have been looking around the town. Eventually you will come across a few ghosts, and you can converse with them, ask them any questions you feel like you need to. If there's any questions you might ask a wandering ghost.
I mean, I guess, what happens when someone tries to get into the goat pen? Have you seen it?
The ghost that you see introduces himself as Laszlo Ulrich. And he is just an enormous man. He's got this big old pot belly that is just kind of ripped open, and his entrails are hanging out like frayed ropes. He's a really glum guy. He's seen some shit. He watched his whole town drown, but first Strahd came up and expressed her displeasure to him. He will explain that the goat pen is enchanted, and the skulls on top of the posts will scream if somebody tries to get into the pen.
They're just screaming, no fire from the eyes or anything like that.
He morosely shakes his head.
And I look at Vic and I'm like, that is good. And Billie, no fire from the eyes.
And everybody can actually see this ghost.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Do we have any other questions for Mr. Ghosts?
I mean, my only thing that I'm wondering is if we activate the talking heads, how does Baba Lysaga respond? Does she just poof and arrive, or does her whole traveling caravan of the walking house join her?
He will explain that she usually just arrives herself.
And
let's do it.
Where is this statue of Marina?
He seems very torn up about that, and he will just point you in a particular direction. And you will see he's pointing in the direction of a very dilapidated, kind of swept away graveyard. And you can see, like, you guys haven't seen a 90-degree angle since you got here. Everything's just kind of askew. But this is the one thing that you have seen that is just on level ground, and it is just completely solid. And it's a monument with a statue of a woman just kind of kneeling where she is and clutching a rose. And as you approach it, you can see that the placard says, Marina, lost to the mists. And Stetchen looking up into her face, it is the spitting image of Irina Kolyana.
Oh.
And Billie, you've seen Irina as well, and you know her name as well because somebody slipped up and said Irina instead of Maria. And freaking Vic, you have no idea who this is.
She's pretty cute. Too bad you already married though, Stetchen.
Oh, yes.
And she's dead.
Gross.
Would Billie know the context for all this?
I'm willing to bet that you've put this together. You have a vested interest in the main group.
Stetchen will look around and see if she has a ghost or a spirit, and he'll.
No.
Okay, I was gonna say he'll put his hand on the statue and try to.
I like you are a very experienced like ghost speaker. Like you will find the ghost. Like if it is there, if there is a ghost to find, you can at least. Like even if it doesn't want to talk to you, you can at least get the dial tone. You can at least get the like, hey buddy, stop calling, ka-chunk. Like you know when there is a ghost to find.
Okay.
You will like kind of reach out, kind of like put your hand on her hand over the rose, look into her eyes, seek her out. There is no Marina.
That is creepy and weird. Duly noted. And he will scratch in his notebook in one of his weird language code deals, Marina reborn, resurrected, questions kind of deal. And
are you alright? You seem a little spooked.
Yeah, I have.
Like more than usual.
Yes, I think that this is could be a very, very bad thing. And he puts the notebook away, and I believe that the Strahd is it is the same person, spirit, going over and over and over again. Because this Marina has no ghost. No spirit, no lost soul. The soul is not here. This is a monument to nothing. I mean, Stetchen's freaked out.
Which is uncommon. Stetchen usually is pretty
next
put together about this kind of stuff. This is weird.
I'll pat him on the back.
And would Billie have seen like one or two of these? One or two of these particularly same-looking girls over her years.
Yeah, I'd say so. They usually have some trouble with Strahd, for sure.
Oh, this girl in particular.
Yes.
Yeah, she shows up like every 50 years or so.
This is a good piece to the puzzle, I think.
Always seems to have trouble with Strahd, though. I don't know why.
Must be her type.
is the statue like marble or like heavy stone?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And Billie has already stated that they are not physically capable, right?
Of
Not really, not hefty at all.
yeah.
Used to be.
Okay. Yeah, either is
Not
steady.
since the incident.
Dun,
Flashbacks.
I would say that a good distraction would be if this was over by the goat pen when we called, but I have no way of moving it.
I'd lend you a hand, but
You are very funny sometimes.
No, I don't either. But I mean, if actually, I might be able to put something into the goat pen without us being near there.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I can activate the talking heads while you guys are, hiding out. So you can set an ambush for her, and then I'll set off the talking heads, and then we'll be boom bash ready to go to ambush.
Victor says that he's pretty sure he can sound the alarm while we hide out and wait to make the ambush.
All right. Sure.
That, I guess, is our plan.
Two of us against an all-powerful magic user. What could possibly go wrong?
You, three of us.
Yes, Victor, you're accounted too. The rest of you, shut up. You're useless. He looks at the rest of his ghosts.
They all back off like they usually do. Like, geez, man.
All right. Let us prepare then.
All right. What do you do?
I start looking at books. Somebody else, what do you do?
I mean, so do I think that even in ghost form, if I go into the pen, it'll sound the alarm?
Honestly, you're not sure. As far as the things that you can interact with, you don't really know until you try. You do know that if you can use your magic to influence things, from what people have told you, you're pretty sure you could set off the skulls by just casting some sort of spell at them.
Yeah, I think that's what my plan is to activate the skulls by casting a spell at them.
Okay.
Probably just a cantrip like Mage Hand or Light to activate to sound the alarm.
All right. What does Billie do in preparation for this?
Disguise self.
What you gonna turn yourself into?
Someone who is joining the book club.
Alrighty. It's a witch. Cool.
So, Billie, we know that she is not any type of fae or fiend or celestial or aberration undead. She is just.
Yeah, I think she's human.
Damn it.
I think she's human.
Well, I have not been within detection range of her, so I do not know. But I cannot protect us from her if she is not of a certain type. Okay, so that is all we got. Phew. I may attempt to cast Sanctuary on us, Billie, if it comes to it, and then we run.
And
Sure.
I'll try and distract her. So if you guys have to get away, by all means.
I really wasn't planning on running away from this.
Oh, all right. And already gave out the holy water and alchemist fire, so holy water I'm assuming won't do anything against her, but you have alchemist fire. All right.
Done?
I think it's his time. Go.
I'm sure this will turn out fine. I'll see you guys on this side soon.
Thank you, Vic. I'm sure. Oh.
The ghost doesn't really care about whether or not you guys die.
They don't have friends.
Anyway, casting Mage Hand onto the
What
skull.
happens to you if Stashin dies, Vic?
Mm-hmm.
That sanctuary goes bye-bye.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't care if
We'll be in
Billie
hell
dies.
together. And we'll all go together.
Session,
like
try
we
not to
go.
die.
So you cast Toll the Dead on one of the skulls.
I was just going to do Mage Hand, but whatever I think is going to be most effective.
All right. That mage hand goes up to the skull and flicks it on its little skull nose. And it kind of shudders a little bit. You see a light come on in its eyes. And it just kind of starts, like, its jawbone just drops down, and like this like pre-recorded screech just comes out, just like mechanically, like ah! And like the ones next to it, its eyes light up, and then their jaws drop, and they start like screaming in a chorus with it, and then like all of them do that. And all of these skulls are just screaming out into the swamp air. And we are going to cut back to Arabelle, who is hiding under a desk as Baba Lysaga just coos to a toddler in a crib. Baba Lysaga says a few concerning things. She talks to the toddler as though it is in fact Strahd von Zarovich herself, and also talks to it as though it is her child that she bore and raised herself. And your history has been rusty and such, but you're pretty sure that it was Queen Ravenova who had Strahd. That this doesn't make a lick of sense.
Not at all. But, just hanging out. Waiting for Rosalia or something to happen to give me an opening so I can go and be a gem napper.
Baba Lysaga monologues more. She talks about how King Barov was a man whore and had children with lots of people. She kind of chuckles to herself about how nobody suspects that Madame Ava is actually secretly Strahd's half-sister.
Arabelle, like, kind of says to herself in her brain place, not with open words, but just, I didn't see that in the cards.
And she also offhandedly mentions that Rahadin is Strahd's half-brother as well. That wretched Chamberlain.
Good.
Just Arbel's eyes growing like saucers. And then at some point, Baba Lysaga's head will just kind of, like, in mid-sentence, she'll just stop talking, and her head will just kind of snap off to the side. And she looks out the window that you just came in, and she walks over to it, and like her claws latch onto the sides of the window. And she looks out. Rosalia, you go ducking behind the corner just in time as she sticks her crooked nose, she's not a hag, her crooked nose out, and she just kind of scowls out the window, cocking her head as though listening for something. And then she's going to disappear back into the house, and then the door busts open. She strides out. She is a full head taller than you are, Rosalia. You're kind of pinned back against the door, just right behind it. Almost cartoonishly, but Baba Lysaga will lift her hands in like as though she's trying to like get an orchestra to swell in sound, and there is a rumbling in front of the hut as you see something begin to emerge from the mud, and it is something very large and something that is white and kind of spiky, and as it emerges and all of this silt comes sloughing off of it, it kind of spins around magically. It's floating through the air. You get a very good look at it. It is the top half of a dragon's skull. And she hops onto it, and it begins to float with her up into the air and then just away.
Arabelle is going to rush over to the shiny gem. Is it grabbable or is it underneath something?
It's underneath the crib itself, and that little toddler just kind of turns around and looks at you with its angelic face. And you can see the glowing coming up from some pried up floorboards. You're gonna have to kind of pull them in order to get in there.
Arabelle is instead going to cast a 3rd level guiding bolt at the floorboards to just burst them out from where it is.
All right, roll it for me.
Before she does, though, I would like to use my evil eye. And I am going to look this baby dead in the face as my eyes just swell into pools of blackness with deep purple irises. And she's going to raise one finger to her lips, looking at the baby, and just and is going to cast Charm Person. The baby, using my portent, will get a 6.
Okay. As you begin to target her with this spell, the baby just kind of looks at you and starts giggling, and you realize that there's nothing there.
There is no actual baby.
It is only an illusion. And you can back off on the spell and not actually use it.
Okay. Her eyes still glaze over in the darks with the purples and just... Why does it look like me? And then guiding bolt level 3 at the floor to burst open the floorboards, grab the jewel.
All right, I need damage. I need a damage roll for that.
Okay. So... That sounds good. So a total of 25.
25?
Yeah.
To hit, or is that your damage?
That's the damage.
Holy butts, okay.
It was a 3rd level guiding bolt.
So that guiding bolt just rockets into the floor and explodes outward. Shrapnel goes flying everywhere. The crib is thrown across the room. That baby just shimmers off into nothingness and disappears with one last creepy giggle. And the hut itself actually stands up in in clear pain, just roiling, just angry. I need Rosalia to make an acrobatics check to not fall off. And it is reacting like you just, I don't know, kicked a lion. It is fierce and it is mad.
Thank God I'm inside of the lion's stomach.
Oh, good. Oh, goody. How'd you do? 12. Okay.
I yell, fly, fly, fly.
Yeah. Ravens just start flying out of the cages. The doors fly open, and they're swirling out of this. Frankly, it's bucking like a bronco, and you go flying off of the hut, and unless you want to like turn into a raven and fly yourself, I'd be willing to allow this as an action, or basically. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Rosalia turns into a raven and starts flying with the swarm. Arabelle, you reach down and you grab that purple gem. It's about the size of your head. And suddenly the hut shudders to a stop. Like as it started moving, you could see like furniture beginning to like fly around, sliding along the floor. And it just stops, and like furniture just slides off to the side from where it last tipped, and then it just begins to kind of like teeter a little bit.
As it's teetering, I have a quizzy question.
Yes.
Baba Lysaga gets her powers from Mother Night.
Yes.
I get my powers from Mother Night.
Yes.
May I attempt to control this half tree layer? Because I can't walk through the swamp with this fucking thing. I'm gonna need a way out. Can I possibly see if I can arcana this half tree to carry me out?
Roll it.
Okay. It's worth a heckin' shot. Okay, so that is an Arcana modified 20.
Oh my god. As it is teetering, you can feel it just reaching that apex where it's about to tip over and start falling. You think to yourself, this hut belongs to me. And you put the gem back in. And then just as it begins to fall, its legs pull out back underneath it, and it just slams down with a rumble into the ground, and it catches itself, and you are in full control of the hut.
We are getting the fuck out of here. We are stomping this hut away. Just
Where to?
Well, I know that the ravens need this gemmy. So we're just gonna trudge this hut as quickly as we can to where the ravens are.
All right, so you start heading to the Wizard of Wines.
Yeah!
Oh my god, you managed to Howl's Moving Castle this shit. I can't, okay. So
I'm
that
stealing her fucking house.
It just goes rushing through the woods with its spidery roots. It's just like sploosh, 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 and it just, and there you go.
I'm just flying along beside it, praying that my clothes landed in a tree branch and didn't fall out.
You have a ring. You have a ring that allows you to retain your clothes. We've discussed
Oh, yeah.
this.
Okay.
Lore.
Yeah.
Rosalia has an anti-nakedness ring.
I forgot.
And then
It's fine, guys. Don't worry.
Yeah,
it's
that
fine.
was Team Hag Hut. That was our job. We stole the hut and the gem and also kind of the baby.
Team Hackut did it again.
I'm only 9 years old.
Billie, Stashin, and Vic. What do you do when you I mean, like, what are you doing just like as these skulls are screaming? Like what do?
Well, I thought Billie and I were hiding, and and Vic's along for the ride. So
all right, I need stealth checks from everybody who cares about making stealth checks.
okay, I cast guidance on us.
Cool, I'm on board for that.
All
Attitude
right.
for everybody.
Okay, Gray Dice, you have failed me all night.
9.
This is your chance. Natty 20.
Natural 20 Stashin.
Oh.
9.
5, but yeah.
Awesome. Session disappears completely. Billie, how do you fail this stealth check?
So it's I guess we're like trying to like duck behind a rock or something. And Billie goes to like volley behind a rock, but then she trips on her own skirt and rips it a little bit more. Her clothes weren't looking great to begin with, and so she's just like falls over and actually lets out a scream.
All right. As you scream and you fall over, your eyes are drawn to the sky, and suddenly it is night. It's definitely not supposed to be night yet, but it is. And Baba Lysaga comes flying through the air. At first you think you see the moon, but then you realize that that's just a milky white dragon skull that is just hurtling towards you at breakneck speeds. And then she will pull up short, and you see Baba Lysaga in all of her glory. All of her adornments are all just kind of jingling and clinking around her. And she will scowl down at you, and she says, "Billie Greywillow, don't I know your grandmother?"
I have an action and a bonus action that I would like to use.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we should roll initiative.
I too have an action that I wanted to use.
Mm-hmm. I do think that you guys would have had a chance to like prepare actions. I'll let you get those off.
20
20.
for initiative.
Okay.
17.
19. Finally.
When she flies in on her flying dragon skull.
20 for Billie. I'm sorry, it's 20 for Billie, 19 for Station, and 17 for Victor.
Correct.
Kai? Bo Kai? Go on. I'm listening.
Her flying dragon skull isn't a creature, is it?
It can be. It is not a creature. It is an object. But as an object, it can be targeted by damaging things.
Okay.
And I am saying it has an AC and hit points, so you can target it.
Instead, I'm targeting. I want to. I don't know what order you want the people to do their stuff in.
I'll say Billie first, then Station, then Victor.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because that was the way that the initiative shook out. Did Victor actually stealth at all?
Oh yeah, Victor got a 24.
Oh damn, cool. All right. Here's how I'm gonna resolve this. Victor and Station are going to get a surprise round. Billie and Bobby Lysagi. Billie and Bobby got Baba Lysaga, the lady herself.
Baby Lysaga.
Baby Lysaga are going to Boo Boo Lusu are going to be considered surprised. So we're going to start with Station, and then we're going to do Victor. And then we're going to go back to the top of the round, and then it will be Billie, Station, Victor, and then Baba Lysaga. Sound good? Okay. So Station, what do you do?
I cast Sanctuary on Billie.
Okay.
And I can put that in chat if you'd like.
Please do.
Copy. Biggity bam. Paste. Oh, it's reached the character limit. There's the gist of it. Ward a creature within range against attack until the spell ends. Any creature who targets warded creature with attack.
It probably won't help me.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, because if you attack, then it doesn't. Okay, then I guess I don't do anything.
Stay hidden.
Yeah, I just stay with my like 28 stealth check waiting.
Out of character. DM to players, I very much recommend against fighting. All right, is that Station?
Yeah.
Victor.
I want to cast Tasha's Hideous Laughter on her.
I'm sure you do. What kind of roll is that?
That's a wisdom saving throw.
I see. A 10 doesn't make it, does it?
10 does not make it.
Okay. Explain to me what Tasha's Hideous Laughter
A creature of your
does
choice
to-
that you can see within range. Ooh, shoot.
What about it?
My range is not probably going to reach her.
What is your range?
30 feet.
I'll allow it.
Okay. A creature that you can see within range perceives everything as hilariously funny and falls into fits of laughter if the spell affects it. Target did not succeed, falls prone, becomes incapacitated, and unable to stand for the duration.
Okay.
Each of its turns, and each time it takes damage, it can reattempt the saving throw.
All right. And it is a wisdom save. What is she trying to reach?
14.
14. Very interesting. All right. So that is your turn. As you cast Tasha's Hideous Laughter on Baba Lysaga, she feels this magic take hold on her, and she will look down at you, and she sees you. She locks eyes with you, and you know that you are seen. And then she starts to laugh, and she falls down onto her skull, and she is now prone on the skull. Billie, you have a turn.
You did know my grandmother, but then I dropped a windmill on her ass.
Fuck, lore!
So while she is prone, that means she instantly fails Dex it. Nope, that's not correct.
But she is incapacitated.
She's incapacitated. Does that mean she... Nope, that's just... She can't take reactions. Okay. All right. So my first thing, I need an intelligence save from her. I'm using Mind Sliver.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20? Okay. And then I need her to make a Dex save. Bonus action, Call Lightning. Sorcery points to bonus action, Call Lightning.
2.
2?
Mm-hmm.
She is going to take math. Oh, okay. What's 4 times 8? 32. 32 points of lightning damage.
Alrighty. I have a question.
Okay.
What happens when you are attacked and you are Tasha's Hideous Laughtering?
You save. You can make your save, but at advantage.
She saves.
It's fine. It's fine. This is fine.
Fine.
Everything's fine.
Absolutely fine.
I'm in danger.
You have a move action if you would like.
Billie would like to stand up. That's something that she would like to do.
All right. Half of your movement.
And move back a little bit.
Okay. Roughly 15 feet. The ground is soft and springy, but it will not impede your movement. So yeah, as that lightning bolt just kind of rains from above and strikes the woman who is not visible up on the dragon skull, she laughs right up until the lightning strike, and then she is deathly quiet. And then you see a hand just kind of curl around the edge of the skull. Station, it is your turn.
The voice in the sky said, "Do not fight." I'm.
Oh, you can fight all you like.
Yeah, or I can cast Sanctuary on myself and sneak away. This isn't my fight. I've got bigger fish to fry. So gotta go. I can hear him on your mic. Yeah. So I'll save the sanctuary. I'll cast guidance on myself and try to sneak away.
All right.
15, and what is my stealth? I believe I have at least 5 in stealth, so it's going to be a dirty 22, I think.
All right. You sneak away, and you think that you have gone unnoticed.
Oh, yeah. It's more like, yeah, it's 20-something 5, I think, if the math is right.
Nice.
So.
Victor.
Really wonder what happens if I die again. How far does Stetchen get? And what are the effects if I remain behind?
His movement. He gets about 30 feet away. You can 60. You get 60 feet of protection. So he isn't completely gone yet.
Okay. I am going to attempt and give Billie the best chance she can get before also running away kind of scared. So I'm going to cast heroism on Billie. And then what's your... Sorry, what's your current hit points at? 22? Cool. I'm going to cast a bonus action healing word on you at 3rd level. Because hopefully that's enough D4s.
What's the heroism give me?
3 temporary hit points and immune
okay.
to frightened. That's fine. It's fine. It's 6 hit points.
Fine. I'll take it.
And I'm going to stick around for a second, but move back from you, because maybe she wants to kill you more than she wants to kill the ghost. Maybe. Who knows? I don't. I'm not moving in a way where I can compromise Session.
I have so many choices.
I'm in danger.
Billie, I would like for you to make me a wisdom save as Baba Lysaga stands in her skull and crooks a finger in your direction.
16.
16? That's not going to be enough. Billie, you are forced to your knees, and you develop a mind-splitting headache as horns curl out from either side of your head. Your fingers merge together into cloven hooves, and fur sprouts from your back as you transform into a goat. You are polymorphed.
A Billie goat?
A Billie goat. And it is now your turn. I'm going to hand you a stat block. Womp. I'll allow you a moment to peruse that as you decide what you want to do on your turn.
I'll ram her. I will absolutely ram her. You said I was...
She's up in the air.
Okay.
As a hag, do you have any innate abilities? Like at-will spells that aren't verbal? or somatic?
See,
Or is your call lightning still up?
I didn't take any damage. Call lightning is still up. Thank you. Can I get a dex save?
Okay.
Is the call lightning hitting the skull as well?
Oh, you know, it probably should be.
It is.
And skulls don't get no dex saves, so I'm gonna go ahead and
So it took 32 points of lightning damage last turn.
Yeah. It seems a little wobbly, but it's nothing compared to the rage in a Baba Lysaga eye. So she rolled what you might call a 15.
15. Scrolling down to my spell list. Yeah, okay, so she'll take half.
All right. What's the full damage
Uh,
for the skull?
the full damage is 16.
Okay. And so 8 for her.
Concentration check.
Oh, that's true. Natural 20.
Me.
This is
I'm the bad guy. Duh.
Would you like to use your movement, which is now 40?
Absolutely.
You can double move if you like.
Absolutely. Well, that was my action. My action was to call lightning, so I'll move 40 feet.
Okay. Billie runs off in your direction, Vic. And now it is Stashen's turn.
I gotta keep going. Do I need more stealth rolls, or did I get away?
I'll say that you're out of stealth roll territory. Which way are you going?
I will head back to where we said we'd meet up after.
Okay, I can to the rendezvous.
Yes.
I can drop you out of initiative if you would like.
I at this point I believe, yeah, I have left Billie to their fate, and if Vic comes along and I see him later, great. But if not, I've got plenty of other ghosts. I love you, Vic, but I've got vengeance, and I've got Arabelle to find and protect. Because if she's here, if she destroys us, then she's going back, and I'm hoping Arabelle and Rosalia got away.
As Stashen gets more than 60 feet away from you, Vic, the aura of peace drops and the world gets weird. You can feel the flood of Berez beginning to lift the waters, and it is tugging at your ankles and attempting to pull you away. Nothing will happen this round, but next round, stuff will start to happen.
Now, when you say pull me away,
you're hoping for something good, right?
I mean something that's not here.
Yeah. What would you like to do on your turn, Victor?
Is there a way I can? She knows that I'm here, so I know she can see me for now. So I want to, while she is distracted with the billy goat, dive behind something that attempt to hide.
Okay. I guess you can hide as an action.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, go for it, friendo.
That's not very good. In fact, I think that's a 12 total. Yep, 12.
12. All right. You go and step behind a waist-high rock, and you think to yourself, "This'll protect me."
And hopefully the waters swiftly take me away from this terrible, terrible place that I've put myself into. I've made a lot of mistakes.
Baba Lysaga begins to laugh in a very triumphant way. She's going to float down towards Billie and get within about 10 feet of her. And then she's going to cast kind of an irritated glance at Vic, and I need him to make a Constitution saving throw as she just points in your direction.
It's 18 total.
18 will do it. Half of this damage. All right. Give me a second. This will take a moment. Uh, 46 necrotic damage.
Half of that?
Oh yeah, half of that. As she casts Finger of Death on you. How are you feeling, big guy?
That's fine. I mean,
You're
bloody,
fine?
but I'm fine.
All right, okay. And she says, "The dead should stay dead."
Trust me, I tried, but it just didn't take.
Excellent. All right. Billie, it's all you. By the way, Baba Lysaga does not look hurt at all. Stashin is gone. Vic is, how many hit points do you have left?
I got 19 left.
Vic has 19 hit points left, and you are a goat.
Call lightning's still up.
All right. I guess I need to do a dexterity save. That's a 2.
$24.
Alrighty. The skull will plummet as the magic that seemed to be enchanting it to fly suddenly breaks, and Baba Lysaga will fall to the ground and take 5 bludgeoning damage.
She needs to make 2 concentration checks to maintain the polymorph.
Thank you, Steven. I will literally forget about a constitution check every time. Success and success. A 16 and a 13.
Okay.
All right. So, Billie, you going anywhere?
I'm going far enough away where I'm 40 feet away.
Cool. All right, Vic. At the beginning of your turn, I need you to make a dexterity save.
Actually, I've had 11.
11? Okay. You begin to be swept away. You drift about 30 feet away.
Cool. Going with the flow. 30 feet, and I'm going to attempt to move my movement away with it. Bye, Billie. I love you. You never even saw me except for right now, which you don't really. Also, I'm going to cure wounds on myself.
Cool. Billie, do you have less than 150 hit points?
I do. I have 4.
All right. Do you know Abyssal?
No.
Okay. Baba Lysaga is going to start walking over towards you like a serial killer in a scary movie as you're scrambling away from her as a bleeding little billy goat. And she's going to just kind of cluck and hush you and say, Shh, 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 shh. No, let Baba comfort you. And she says something in Abyssal, and she uses power word stun, which will stun you.
So Billie does that thing where all of her joints lock as a billy goat. So she just
fainting.
Todd.
Do you want to continue this?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, no. If we need to resolve this, that's cool. But she's gonna keep getting struck by lightning.
It is funny. She has taken 6. I mean, a stunned person can't take actions, right?
They're incapacitated. They cannot make actions. That's correct.
She has taken 69 damage at this time. Just so you know. I'm just saying, Baba Lysaga kind of has free reign. She can do pretty much anything to you at this point.
Yep.
Should we just fade to black and then resolve this off screen?
Absolutely.
Okay. So Billie just kind of falls off to the side, and Baba Lysaga will continue to walk, and whispering calmly to her, and her robe will just kind of fill the screen, and everything goes black.
Yay! We got the gem, guys.
Everything went better than expected.
Nobody died that we know of.
That we know of.
So
Everything's fine.
everything's fine. So first and foremost, I would like to say, Danae, thank you for running this incredible game. We got to be guests. It was fun. I had a blast. Hey, where can we find you? Where can we find you if we want more of this content?
My name's Danae Keener. You can find me at DanaeKeener.com. I do nerdy drawings, mostly related to D&D and stuff on this channel. You can also find me here on Mondays playing Coriander the Eladrin Paladin, or on Tuesdays playing Strahd and Baba Lysaga.
Excellent. And Tyler, where can we find you? What do you do?
My name's Danae Keener. You can find me at Danae Keener. No, my name's Tyler, at Frothy Inferno on Twitter, which I don't use. But I always check it. So if you message me, I could respond and dab or whatever. And that's where you can find me.
All right. And GB, where can we find you? What do you do?
I'm Graybeard of Graybeard's Tavern, and you can always find me on that Twitter address. Same thing, Graybeard Tavern. And my schedule's there, and I got a lot and things, but I one more thing to say.
DanaeKeener.com.
All right. And JD, where can we find you? What do you do?
Hi, my name is JD. You can find me at JD Lady on Twitter. I don't stream, but I'm usually watching streams. So if you follow me, you can see who I'm watching at least. And I'm looking at DanaeKeener.com.
And Cyber, where can we find you? What do you do?
Hi, I'm Cyber. You can find me at CyberWolf1201 on Twitter, where I shitpost most of the time, but I also tweet about whenever I go live on twitch.tv/CyberWolf1201, where I play video games so badly, but I talk about the lore because it's fun. I'm playing Wolf Among Us right now. It's a good time. Yeah, archives of that go to YouTube, youtube.com/CyberWolf1201. You can also find a podcast that Kyle with an N I do called Let's Talk About, where we get drunk, do parkour, and talk about RPG stuff. We got a Gen Con episode up. It's got Steven in it, so listen to it. It's a good time. We got another one in the chamber ready to be edited whenever I find time. You can also find some D&D Beyond tutorials, because, that's cool. And for RPG stuff, you can find me here, not on the Tuesdays most of the time, but you can find me on the Monday night game, where I play Arjan, the Black Dragonborn cleric of a god who's mad at him. And you can find me on Thursdays, where I play Albus, the Kalashtar Bard, who is apparently the master of tools.
Yes. And if you have made it this far, you probably already know who I am. But if you do not, hey fella, what's up? It's me, your buddy, your pal, your friend, the Indoor Adventurer, the showrunner here at twitch.tv/Indoor Adventures. We do the show Monday, Tuesday, and Thursdays at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We also have all of our VODs go up at youtube.com/Indoor Adventures, and all of our audio casts go up to anywhere where you can find audio casts under the same moniker. We also have a Patreon set up where we have our after show called Nights in the Courtyard for all of your listening pleasure if you are indeed a patron. So consider going to check that out, because we answer questions not only from you guys but also from each other, and the easiest way to direct those questions to us is by going to our Discord chat, and all the links to join that Discord is found below, whether you are listening, watching, or viewing us as we present. So we are going to be going into our after show now. Thank you to everybody who decided to stop by. Danae, thank you so much for running this. And thank you to all of you wonderful, wonderful guest characters for helping make this guest heist a reality. And we will see all of you guys next time. All right, everybody.
Can I...
GB?
If she had seen me, this is what she would have seen.
Yes, we all looked like that.
That's what we looked like.
Yes,
so
every last one of us except Billie, who had their own style of witch going on. So, with that, we will see all of you guys next time. All right, everybody. Bye-bye!
Bye-bye.